Monday, April 14th. Just red alert siren over my head. More than likely, whatever news I give you on tariffs is going to be too late. So understand, you need to stay on top of this, because Friday came around, we saw a tariff pullback. Saturday came around, we saw another tariff pullback, but Lutnick goes out there and says, wait, maybe it's not done. And then Sunday, we see Trump pull it all the way back because he was testosteroned up at the UFC this weekend. So just be aware, whatever I give you in tariffs here, you don't want to be caught off sides. We're going to go over a lot. Okay, we're going to go over my joke prowess to begin with. We'll go over that. Zero DTT options, which turned $1,000 into $1.5 million, where you can put an alert to actually get that alert next time. The exemptions, we're going to go over all the tariff stuff, where it is today, biggest movers. Apple, we're going to go over NVIDIA, we're going to go over Broadcom, finding double bottoms. We'll also explain, I'll explain, you can read all the reports that you want. You can do all this. We will go over 5 things. Let's review 5 things that I, you could do, because rich people like to save their time. So, hey, there's 5 things, maybe 6, 7. Earnings next week, Netflix. So let's start out with where the charts are, because the charts don't lie. The charts don't lie. This takes emotion out of it, okay? It's literally just something on a paper. So understand your candles. That's what you want to go and you want to research. You want to understand. You want to find your favorite time frame. Some people's favorite time frame is a daily, okay? That takes off the strategy that I have, which is a 4-hour strategy. But you can see in the daily, I looked at that. Well, once you got out of that range, at 512, maybe you wanted to sell. Maybe you wanted to take some. It dipped under the 50-day. We're about to get a death cross of the 50-day and the 100-day. Nothing good happens there, except if it's a man-made recession that can be turned around. So here's the thing. The 4-hour algorithm has you in. You don't want to be caught off sides. That's part of the thing that we're going to look at is don't get caught off sides, because the title of this is the bull market back? Well, maybe we don't know, because it's being artificially pushed up and then pushed down and then pushed up and then pushed down. So I want to say, first off, the fans mean everything to me. The fitness influencer that reached out to me, hey, Daily Stock Pick Podcast, you into fitness? FYI, just for those that can't read on screen, I wrote back, you mean fitness pizza in my mouth? My friend asked me, how long have you had that joke kind of stuffed in your back pocket? I said years. But yeah, if you're going to come at me, don't come at me on Masters weekend. Don't come at me, bro. And that's what I say to fitness influencers, don't come at me. Speaking of fans, those of you that hate me for my Trump rants or pro rants, anti rants, I rant about everything. If he does something good, I'm going to tell you he did something good. Like if we were on air this weekend, I would say, hey, pulling back those tariffs, best thing he could have done. But this is Bill Maher, and many anti-Trump people will know him as an anti-Trump comedian. I have MAGA friends who don't understand why I have liberal friends who kept telling me, why is Bill Maher a traitor? He's going to dinner with Trump. Watch this. It is 12 minutes. It is part of the funniest 12 minutes of political commentary I've seen. Literally, he took all of the insults that he wrote, that he has done to Trump, put it on a piece of paper and had Trump sign it. And you know what? Trump signed it. So if you have a problem, go and watch this. I think it puts into my perspective into it beautifully. You can't understand this. There is a reason Linda McMahon is in charge of the Department of Education. Okay? The McMahons, my brother worked for them. They are into heels. And if you don't know heels, go and look at wrestling in the 80s and 90s and 2000s. There was always a heel. There was always a bad guy. Trump wants to be that bad guy. And that's what Bill Maher explains. Okay? Then you have this clip. Such a good clip. It's from the Animal Spirits podcast. about being early into the stock market. We could see the stock market rally in the face of this. The recession might 6 to 12 months. What this tells you is you want to be in the market. Okay, the market bottoms at 6 months. You want to be in the market. You're never going to know when it's going to come back up. Doesn't mean that you're all in on the market. You know, I've traditionally been 95% invested. I think I'm 80% invested now. I bought big on Wednesday. Did it feel good? No. Because Thursday we were way down. I don't even think I'm back to positive on those. But every stock that I bought was not a weak trade. Okay, I would have brought those charts in. I wouldn't have bought that. Remember, have the stocks that you want to buy and just buy them when they get down 10%. Okay, I time mine. I don't have a job, so I can do that. I can set up alerts in Trendspider. I can do all of this. But these charts are great. Price bottoms 9 months before the earnings per share in bear markets. So if 9 months from now, okay, this indicates if this earnings season is going to be a bear market earnings season, meaning that we see a low, 9 months from now, today would have been the bottom. And that's the point. Don't miss out. Go and watch this. It is a great, great clip. Just understand, yes, 9 months from now, we could be up. So don't get caught off sides. You're seeing a lot of noise in the market, and you're going to see it go up and down. The key point is be in the market. Don't be out of the market. And if you want a strategy, here's a strategy, okay? This is literally a strategy that turned $1,000 into $1.5 million last week. And it's a simple strategy. And if you have $1,000 to lose, go and put $1,000 like this. Okay? Go and set up an alert on Truth Social, on Twitter. Because Truth Social and Twitter, you get the alert right there and then at the same time.
$1,000 trade would be worth
Here, we're going to put this.
My biggest learning of this is to, when the president says buy. Like, I'm going to next time put $1,000 into 0 DTE options on the SPY anytime that Trumpy social account says buy. It's just a gamble. It's not an investment. It's a gamble. And I did see, I don't know if you saw this, but there were some 0 DTE options that were trading for 1 cent 4 hours before the announcement. If you just bought those in the morning when he said to chill out and it's a good day to buy, that $1,000 trade would be worth $1.5 million.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's a strategy. That's a gamble, but it's a strategy. Okay? Life-changing. And can you do it? Absolutely, you can do it. You can absolutely do that. It's a strategy. But understand that $1,000 could go to 0, could go to 500, but it's a strategy. And it's a good one. Because all you have to do is set up an alert. It costs you nothing. You don't need tools on any of this stuff. You just put that strategy in place. Okay? That's just what should you be watching? Okay, we're going to put 2 things on your radar. First, we're going to put the VIX. Find out. Go and figure out when you can do the VIX. I watch Seeking Alpha, and I just type in VIX, and you can see it. Okay? It's at 32.56. It's down 13 freaking %. And you know how you can trade that? SVIXY. Okay, SVIXY is the bear. It's up 3%. It's up 3%. UVIXY is the bull. So as the VIX goes up, you can see 86% trade in this one. This one is down 11%. You can trade those. Find something that you can trade on the VIX. But the VIX is something you want to watch. When it gets above 50, just go and buy your favorite stocks. Just go and buy your favorite stocks when it gets above 50. Okay? Identify 2 stocks. That's a strategy. And when the VIX gets above 50, go and do it. The other one that you want to watch, and it's all here in Seeking Alpha, is the 10-year. Okay? The 10-year now is at 4.43. And we've seen this little spike here If we go 1 month, you've seen this spike here in the 10-year. That's not good. Those are the two things that are really moving the market. And the bond market has proven this week or last week that it's in charge. The stock market, it's an afterthought. The bond market is in charge. But do you want to invest in bonds? I don't think so. I have not been a bond fan. There are plenty of people who make millions and billions of dollars in the bond market. I just don't. It's something that confuses me. I don't understand it. I don't like it. So I stay away from it. But those two things, if you just watch them, you can see how the market's changing. Okay? Don't be offsides when the stuff happens. CEOs are speaking to the White House on the trade war. One told me that Trump has an open door policy and is listening to their concerns on the tariff impact on the economy and markets. And we see this. He whipsaws back and forth. The overwhelming fear expressed both to Trump and his aides is that the tariff war needs to end ASAP because it will stoke stagflation if it persists. A 5% yield on the 10-year, it's coming down a little bit, which carries a whole set of risks. Trump needs to quickly pivot to his growth agenda. The White House is said to have assured CEOs the pivot is happening and deals are being done. Also, that there is plenty of room to negotiate with China. You don't want to be caught off sides. Like if you were short Apple, say you were playing ALPD. I think it's APLD. Let me see. ALPD, Apple, AAPD. I think that may be it. Yeah. 1 times bear. Okay. If you were short Apple today, you're down 6%. If you were short Apple, you've been a loser all the way since April 8th. It's not a good place to be. So don't be caught off sides. Trump, this is the news of the tariff of the weekend. Thank goodness the market wasn't open. We would have seen this. And you could have turned $1,000 into $1.5 million. Because the news was Trump exempts smartphone and computers chips from reciprocal tariffs. That was literally on Saturday morning a huge headline. Huge. Huge. You don't want to be caught off sides. Because then what happened? Chaos. Yesterday, nobody is getting off the hook for the unfair trade balances. Lutnick is out there on the Sunday morning shows and going off about how the tariffs are going to come back. Okay? It's up and down. It's up and down. He announced that it was fake news. The fucker, it came out of your damn administration that it was off. So it's not fake news. No. You just are managing by chaos. And as long as that's happening, don't get caught off sides. So when I say it's a bull market, it means you are going to get caught off sides if you are in cash. Okay? The fear, it's real. The fact that you could go down another 20, 25%, it's real. You have to figure out what your own comfort level is. My comfort level was not being in cash. My comfort level is being in the market. And my comfort, like I said, I am able to white knuckle a $1 million portfolio with a 50% drawdown. No problem. Am I willing to take a 10 or a $50 million portfolio and white knuckle that one with a 50% drawdown? No. I'm going to pull out some cash. I'm going to reallocate. And it's the same thing that I did in 2000 during the 2000 dot bomb when I was 20 years old. I'm sorry, 30. In 2000, I was born in 1970. I was 30 years old. So I may very well be like you. And I enjoyed. I say enjoyed. But let's look at QQQ. Because let's just go back to QQQ and we'll go to a monthly chart. And if you look at 2000, oh, look at that. That's what I enjoyed going into my 30s. That market. Okay? So my entire savings from my 20s wiped out. But you didn't know where it was. This is 2002. So it was 2 years. We'll go over some of the other stats, but that was 2 years. And then when did I finally get back? 2015, if you just bought and held. But again, during this time, it doesn't mean that you were just constantly losing. You just have to reallocate some stuff. And did QQQ make sense at this point in time? No. And I didn't own QQQ at this time. I didn't. I owned individual stocks. And that's part of the point is you can have your ETFs, and if you feel comfortable in them, I think you can continue to hold them. But just understand on a monthly chart, when you get down below that 9-day, it typically has been a year or so to come back. Look, when you got down here in 2008 and on the monthly, okay, you got down there, it took you until 2010 to come back. In 2021, when you pulled down on the monthly, okay, March of 2022, it took you until July 2023 to come back. It's extended. Doesn't mean that you get out. It just means understand there may be some type of volatility. But I think in some stocks, you are going to see opportunities. So don't get caught off sides. I think you stick with the long term. I am not pulling out. I am not 70% or 60% in the market anymore. I am 80% in the market. I just don't feel comfortable that way. Doesn't mean I'm you. Just understand, doesn't mean I'm you. Stock index future game after Trump exempts tech from reciprocal tariffs. This was published this morning. It's 20% tariff, not 140%. So it's just all over the place. Understand anything with tariffs is going to hit the news. It's going to affect the markets. The markets right now are soaring. Apple is up 4%. Well, let's see. Apple is actually up way higher than that. Let's see. That was it's up 6%. It's at $210. I told you, get Apple under $200. It is the best buy that you could do. Okay. We are speed running a recession right now. In 2022, SPY dropped 131 points over 9 months. In 2025, that took less than 8 weeks. If you don't think the recovery is going to be just as fast, you're not reading the tea leaves. It will. If you're worried about another 20% down, just understand the bounce back could be just as powerful. And I think we're still in a bull market. I think these fuckers are just trying to do the art of the deal. Now, mind you, I think I put out a tweet about him. We lost $1.6 trillion in the market. And the tariffs are only supposed to bring back like $500 billion. Again, they're playing just free and loose. They don't know what's going to go on. Biggest movers in the market, Apple up 5%. Tech stocks saw a surge. You got NVIDIA, you got Dell, which came out of the core portfolio. I'm upset that I shut it down. Supermicro's up 5.7%. Hewlett Packard, all this stuff. Part of the problem is, and it was the tech leaders that went into this. Part of the problem was that if you put a tariff on all this stuff, you actually prohibit us from being the AI leader in the world, and that's the problem. Oh, and FYI, nothing to see here. Not like the Gulf could get ruined again by an oil leak. But BP went up after shares, they found oil approximately 120 miles off the Louisiana coast. Yeah, nothing to see. Let's just continue to drill 120 miles off the coast. No problem. They're going to drill 40 wells over the next 3 years. Great. I mean, the stock goes up, but, again, cheap energy. Doesn't mean that the companies are going to make more money. It just means cheap energy. We'll go over that in a little bit. Warner Brothers Discovery shares rose. DuPont, Dumors rose. Again, upgrades. It's a bull market. Everybody's saying, hey, it's a good value. Now, Apple, if all you ever did was buy high-quality stocks on the 200-week moving average, you would beat the S&P by a large margin. Charlie Munger said that. Okay, look, we just tested it. Go to Apple. You don't need Trendspider to do this. Okay, go to Apple and pull up a weekly. You just did that. There's your 200-day right in red. When was the last time you had the time to do this? Well, let's see. It was way back here in 2018, the last tariff war. The stock was trading at 24. On a weekly, it is so good. It's so weak. Are you going to be at 250 next week? No, you won't be. In fact, I put out a newsletter this weekend, Trendspider strategy, scanners, and watch lists. This is all my Trendspider journey. Sign up for the annual plan and you'll get all of this, my 4-hour algorithm, 65-minute. You'll get all of that. Plus, I give you all of these to import. And if you don't have Trendspider, go and look at the entry and exit of these strategies. Go and build it. Damon, who's a longtime TradingView guy because he said, hey, it's cheaper than Trendspider. He said, God, it's impossible to build these things in TradingView. Okay, I give you the correction deniers, trading above the 200 SMA, all the scanners that you can use, and the watch lists. Don't give you the watch list. You get the watch list when you sign up for the annual plan. But the watch list that I tell you to have, you don't need Trendspider. I have my personal stock and ETF portfolios. I have stocks that I will buy under 10%, and I have a watch list. Okay, those are the 3 main watch lists you want. You can break them up. You can organize them however you want. But again, if you want Trendspider, go over to Linktree. Literally, it's down below my head here. linktr.ee/daily stock pick. It's this top link. It takes you to Trendspider and you can save 40% off. Okay, this is a great opportunity. Not only do you save 40% off the annual plan, but you can try it out for 3 months. For 3 months and save 40%. Okay? You get 2 trainings per year. You can sign up for a quarterly, or you can sign up for a monthly, or you can try it for 2 weeks for $29, and you can get a training from a product expert one-on-one. So, Trendspider is that good. And again, I did a newsletter this weekend. It's out there. I put out this newsletter for alerts. How I set alerts, how I don't look at stuff. Okay? And a stock that's up 17% just since last month that I bought and alert paid members to. So go and get the newsletter. Again, you can go over to Linktree. The newsletter is down here. You can get that, or you can get Trendspider, one or the other. But Apple, for me, it's a clear buy. Is it a buy at 213? Probably not. I think you can probably get it under 200. But would I wait? No, because I think you're going to see news move fast. Now, Bank of America says their top chips are NVIDIA and Broadcom. I can't believe my ass sold Broadcom just to get a profit. I sold it like the 160, 170 mark, something like that. I think I sold just as it came down here, maybe even 157. Let's see where I sold, because I put it right here. The low of this week was 139. I don't even know where I sold. The high was 173, but I sold. My ass is buying back in. I'm going to find an entry in this and I'm going to buy back in. The 3 chip stocks that I want are NVIDIA, Broadcom, and Credo. Those are the 3 that I want. I'm not saying you should go out there and buy them, but in my mind, that's what I want. And Taiwan Semi, great, because they make all these damn chips. Okay, you wanted Tech Browns Brewing. Scan this stock. Okay, 204 symbols in the NASDAQ. There's some bangers in here. Log in and import. We're going to go over here. What's this one called? Let's see. This one is called Falling Wedge Breakout. We're going to go over here, and I'm going to look at the scanner, and we're going to say Falling Wedge. Okay, Falling Wedge Breakout on volume. We can just say Falling Wedge Breakout. I don't know which one's going to be better, but let's just scan for falling wedge breakout. It will go and it will find the falling wedges. You can import it into your system here. Okay, it found NVIDIA, Hood, Google, Sound, Trading Desk, Affirm, Mara. I'm not sure which one it actually does. Let's sort it by symbol. Maybe it does the falling wedge by, let's see. Falling wedge breakout on volume. Let's see if this one pulls out. Dollar Tree. BG, you can put it into the 4-hour algorithm. BG, which is Bunge Limited. Hum, which is Humana. That's a falling wedge breakout. Again, all of these scanners, look at all of these scanners that you have access to in Trendspider. You can always find something to trade. You can just type in bullish. And then if you want to know how this is done, go over here and we can type in falling wedge. Okay? Falling wedge breakout by volume. And you can look at the strategy down here. Okay? It's got a price close greater than falling wedge. Price close on the weekly. Falling wedge short term. A top. Volume. SMA. Greater than volume. Again, take that and you can alter it. You can go and look at some of the other indicators if you want. But again, find your comfort level. And I provide you all the other scans if you want them, if you sign up for an annual plan. But again, find these options. You want it in this type of market. Maybe you want a double bottom. Stop wasting your time. Scrolling charts in this video will show you how to scan for double bottoms. This is a video. They show you how to scan for double bottoms. Okay, and then import it into Trendspider, and you can do it. It's very simple. So, notable analyst calls this with Apple, Eli, and Verizon stocks. Again, this is some upgrades from last week. These are good stocks to buy. Eli Lilly, Verizon, among the best. I don't own either one of those, but I do own Apple. So make sure you know where the analysts think your stocks are going to go. Now, the Apple one was just underperformed to hold, but yeah, it is what it is. Let's talk about the grifters, because the grifters from last week who knew about the tariff pause and turned $1,000 into $1.5 million. Well, somebody's buying Bitcoin. Someone just opened up a $200 million long position on Bitcoin. Maybe they know something. You know how I play Bitcoin? IBIT. And I went over this in the private Facebook group. The reason I don't own Bitcoin directly is because I can't figure that shit out. First off, I don't know how to buy it because they say your keys, your coins. Well, I don't know how to get my keys. Okay, I think you can do it in Coinbase, but then I don't want to hold it on something like Coinbase. I want to hold it in cold storage, and my ass throws everything out in my house. I'm going to find a piece of paper with some numbers and keys on it, and I know I'm going to throw it out. And then I'm one of those guys who can't get access to his Bitcoin. So that's why I hold it in IBIT. Okay, if you buy it in Robinhood, if you buy it in Venmo, if you buy it in Cash App, you don't have the keys. So I don't trust it. That could be an FTX situation. Okay, so I just buy IBIT. That's it. And by the way, on the 4-hour algorithm on Friday, you got to buy in here at 47. And Bitcoin is going up. So if you want to follow the grifters, that might be one place to do it. Okay, this may be nothing. This may be nothing. But last week, the S&P opened lower by more than 2%, but closed up more than 5%. May 1970 was the only other time in history we've seen that. It marked a multi-year low, and stocks gained an additional 56%. Don't get caught off sides. Okay, don't get caught off sides. But I also want to warn you. Okay, I want to warn you about this. SEC Chairman Paul Atkins has assured Congress that he's ready to launch a massive delisting investigation of Chinese public companies. The result could be an unprecedented removal of hundreds of Chinese companies from the U.S. stock exchange if they violate U.S. disclosure laws on some lawmakers suspect. Okay, this is a big effing deal. Because when you own BABA, when you own PDD, when you own all of these stocks, remember, and I've said this before, the reality of these Chinese stocks is you are not buying into the company like you do in an American stock. It is illegal for a foreigner, a non-Chinese citizen, to own stock in a Chinese company. There is an ETF, and you can do this research on Perplexity. This is not legal advice, but understand the stocks that are held in the New York Stock Exchange and on the NASDAQ, they are a paper company in the Caribbean, that was set up so that the U.S. can invest in them. They could be taken out like that. And this happened in the last Trump administration where all these stocks were pressured and they came under pressure. I would not be throwing a ton of money into China and saying China's going to come up because they're going to do a deal. I would rather be in the American, but that's my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion. And I don't know the law. I don't know that this is going to happen. But if they are looking at some war with China, maybe that's one thing that they do. Okay? Now, I also want to say, let me explain to you how hard it is for me to invest in different industries or investing overall. Everyone hears Trump say, we're drilling and producing oil. Everyone thinks, oh my God, that's going to be so bullish for oil. It sounds like a boom, but what's actually happening is prices are coming down. That's not a good story as a stockholder. Okay? Falling revenues, unless they can replace it with volume, which we've seen they can't, most energy companies are going to be down. Then when you hear oil prices are low, you're thinking, well, they have to go up. Plunging oil prices force U.S. oil industry to consider cutting production and jobs. It's not good. Okay, it's not good. And when you say, well, oil has to come back up, no, it doesn't. That's how they're keeping inflation down, is low energy prices. It's a key decision by the Trump administration to do that. They may not be filling the strategic reserves up again. They may want it actually lower. Understand, this is one of the places when I went over my my Trendspider on the weekend in this newsletter, Trendspider Strategies, the top section, when I went over it, I tell you, one of the issues that I had right after COVID, oil was trading at $20 per barrel. And I heard somebody say, it's got to go up. It's got to go up. Well, I threw some money at that. I wound up losing the entire amount. Yes, I said $100,000. I'm going to make this into at least $300,000-$400,000. The reason is if it's trading at 20 and wants to be at 60, I know I'm going to three times my money. And then all of a sudden, when that 100,000 was down at 50,000, I said it's got to come back up, so I'm going to throw another $100,000 at that. Yes, I did that. That was your boy here. It is impossible for me. One of the learnings in that specific journal entry about those trades was I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to oil. Okay? Part of this this article on Exxon. Okay, Exxon is a better bet than XLE on oil price recovery. While it may cost under $40 a barrel to drill in the best parts of the Permian Basin, new well drilling in North Dakota would require oil prices to be at $57 per barrel, meaning operations in those basins would be at risk of current price levels. So again, you have to understand, energy is just one of those things. And then you may feel nervous about, the energy situation. So you may say, hey, I want to go into dividends. Well, how do you rank those companies? It's the quant. Using the quant, and here are 10 dividend stocks. One of them, MPLX, number 6. MPLX is in the core portfolio. I personally own this one. And if you want to see this one, we will select the metrics, we'll go to performance, and we'll look at total return. The reason, it's got like a 7% dividend. Look at the 1 year. This is up 27%. The S&P is up 3%. Look at 3 year. MPLX is up 42%. This one's up, the S&P is up 21%. MPLX is up 42%. That includes the dividend. Look at 6 months. MPLX is up 8%. The S&P is down 7%. 1 month, MPLX is down 8%. Is this an opportunity to get in? I think it is. When you go and look at dividends, the dividend yield going forward is 7.94%. So there are places to actually invest, and I do it in other places. But I find stocks in different ways. One of them is the quant. Maybe you say, hey, I'm just going to go through earnings reports myself. This is a great little cheat sheet. How to read an annual report. That's a lot of effing work for me to do in all my freaking stocks. I don't want to do this. So let's just review. 1, you want to invest in an industry or sector you don't really know about, so you need more information from experts. Well, where's that? Maybe you can go over here and you can say, you know what? MPLX. Is that a good one? Well, let me read all these analysis from all of these experts. Okay? Doesn't mean you follow them. Just means that you're getting more information. Like that $40 per barrel from an article on Exxon. Okay, number 2, you may need to monitor the health of the stocks that you own because you have a life and a day job. Well, that may be the quant rating right here because the quant changes every single night. And they even analyze with AI right here, okay? So that's 2. Now, number 3, you want to save time doing research and you need an easy way to grade each stock different from another stock. Again, maybe the quant rating. And maybe you say here in MPLX, well, it's ranked number 1 in the quant for the oil and gas storage transportation stocks. Maybe it's a good stock. Number 4, you want to import the stocks that you own and get a grade on your entire portfolio. Well, there you can import your entire portfolio and get grades. Okay, it will even grade your entire portfolio for you in an email every morning. And then number 5, you want to find stocks in new sectors that may outperform, and you want to create a curated watch list. You can do that in your portfolio. You can go and look at top stocks right here. Berkshire Hathaway is a top stock to buy right now. Okay, QFIN, NWG, PUK. There are tons and tons of stocks. That's Seeking Alpha Premium. Okay? And over here, you can go to the second link right here, Seeking Alpha Premium, or I'm sorry, the third link, Seeking Alpha Premium, and get $30 off and a free 7-day trial. It is my tool that I use. And again, I just went over 5 reasons why you may want this. 1, you need maybe information on a sector that you're not used to, like me with oil. Number 2, you monitor the health of your own stocks. Number 3, you save time because you don't have to do a ton of research and deal with a ton of pop-up ads. Number 4, you import your own portfolio, monitor your stocks. And number 5, you can find new stocks. And if that's not enough, maybe number 6, you want a data-driven portfolio that backtests beating the market. Number 7, you want to learn about stocks and how they're chosen by expert portfolio makers with reasons outlined in an article every month. You get a new one on the 1st, a new one on the 15th. And number 8, managing a portfolio is tough. So you want to know when to sell and the reasons why they pick the sales. And that's Alpha Picks, okay? You can get Alpha Picks by itself. If all of those things, all of those 8 reasons, you can get Alpha Picks by itself, okay? Or you can get this bundle. Alpha Picks by itself is $4.99, okay? You save $159 off the bundle price when you use the second link in my link tree, okay? Save over $150 when you get the bundle. That's it. That's it. The key is to have a fundamental tool that you trust, which I have in the quant, a fundamental tool where I can say, okay, this stock may be better than the other. Because I don't know everything about reading a damn annual report. I don't know everything about earnings. But I do know that the quant has beaten the S&P traditionally. So you want something like that. Rich people, I'm in this high net worth group, and everybody in that high net worth group always says the biggest benefit to being rich is that you can buy back your time. The number one thing, okay, that these guys do They hire private chefs. They hire personal trainers. They hire tax professionals. They hire assistants. The wealthy are smart enough to figure out that these things all come with time savings. And so they spend money. And again, the tools that I provide save you time and they save you money. Because over the long run, I think your decisions are just better. So let's go over to Earnings Hub because it is earnings week. We had Goldman Sachs this morning, which was good. In fact, Goldman Sachs, I think it's up a couple of percent. If I'm not mistaken, it's up 3%. This is one that I bought last week. That was the early one. You got Applied Materials. Let's see. This is, Applied Digital after the bell this afternoon. I don't cover it. I don't know it. You got J&J, which I used to own. I don't own now. I just don't like the company. I don't like the stock. You got one of the best buys, in my opinion, Bank of America tomorrow morning. 82 cents per share estimated. That's what they reported last time. 26 billion in revenue. They reported 25 billion in revenue last time. So they beat it last time. Let's look at the chart. How does it look? Again, how do you use these tools? That's Earnings Hub. On Friday, you got a buy of Bank of America in the 4-hour algorithm. How does the 4-hour algorithm perform, you may say? Well, look at down the bottom. 44% versus 28%. You win 50% of the time. That's damn good. That takes emotion out of it. I said it many times before. I think this is a $50 stock. And Bank of America reports tomorrow morning. I think it's a good one. Citibank, which we've talked about before. If you're using FinViz and you want to rate Citibank, go over here because the book value is $101. It's trading at 61. Go and Google, go and use Perplexity and say, should I buy a bank whose book value is $101 and it's trading at $61? Traditionally, absolutely. They reported $1.34 last time. They're expected $1.85. That is quite a bit different. 21 billion in revenue. Let's see how it performs on the 4-hour algorithm. We can go over here. I've said this one's an $80 stock before. Algorithm got you in at $60. You're trading at $62 in pre-market. Again, I think it's an $80 stock. I like it. This one's rebounding. I like that one. You can use Seeking Alpha, and we can go to Bank of America. I think it's a hold in the quant. Yeah, it's a hold in the quant. It's too big to fail. Year to date, it's down 18%. You can go to Citigroup and look at this one. Year to date, Citigroup down 12%. And it's a hold in the quant. But I think there are opportunities. Again, I'm not a guy that typically does financials, but I like those too. Now you got United Airlines coming out on tomorrow afternoon. You have Interactive Brokers, which we know people are freaking trading. You got Applied Materials, ASML Holding, Abbott Labs, Progressive Insurance. You got US Bank. The one that I think is good, you got Taiwan Semi overnight. You got American Express on Thursday. You got United Health, UNH, which it was in the core portfolio, and I added it back in. You got Schwab, which is another bank. But the one that's interesting to me is Netflix. Now, I don't think that Netflix is going to soar on these earnings. You've got earnings per share expectation at $5.73. You have the actual earnings per share last time at $4.27. But I think Netflix is a great long-term buy. Now, I just heard today that China is saying, hey, Netflix, maybe we want to limit that because, nobody likes American movies and American stuff. Maybe that's the case. But is China a main market? No. I do think that this one faces some headwinds. Is it a risk? Absolutely. Is it a long-term buy? I think so. Wall Street, 16% upside. They haven't chased it down as it's come down. I think it was unnecessarily taken down. Understand, it's expensive. You're trading 36 times forward earnings. Okay, it's ranked number 5 in communication services. The Atlanta Braves is number 1. And this one has just tanked, but it's a strong buy in the quant. Why? Go and analyze it with AI. We can see Madison Square Garden Network, Live Nation, it competes with, is significantly overvalued with metrics like price to sales showing 222% premium. In summary, grapples with valuation and profitability challenges, its strong growth trajectory, positive momentum. I can tell you, I live 3 miles to the Brave Stadium. That effing place, I don't want to go near. It's too damn crowded. That's not a bad place to be investing your money when it's too damn crowded. Okay, the real estate development aspect of Atlanta Braves is subject to typical commercial real estate risk. Holy F. They are expanding like you wouldn't believe over there. So again, you can look at these things and look at it and say, okay, well, maybe I don't want the Braves. Maybe I want 10-cent music. Well, it's Chinese stock. Maybe you want Roku. Roku's got an advertising business. You know, this one's been beaten down. And the reason is it's not making money. It's a Kathy Wood stock. I think they still own a bunch of it. But again, research the stocks that you have. Research the ones that you like. That's the one this week. That's not one that I'm buying going into earnings, but I'm holding going into earnings. And if we look at the 4-hour algorithm and say, okay, well, how's it done on the 4-hour algorithm? Well, the 4-hour algorithm makes you 147% over the last 2 years. Buying and holding makes you 163. 48% win rate, 23 positions. So you win 11 times out of 23. It's not bad. Average win, 12%. Your average loss, 2%. It gets you out pretty well. What happened on the last earnings? You gapped up. You've covered that gap since. It got hyped up. If we go back to this time last year, what happened on earnings? You gapped down. This is a boring earnings period. I don't want to play it like that, but I do think this is a long-term buy and hold. And the algorithm just got you in at 930. Find a place you're comfortable with. I think anything under $900, I think you buy it. I think anything under $1,000 for a longer term perspective, you buy it. These guys have the NFL. They've got the PGA with full swing. They've got sports. They've got WWF. They've got WWE. It's the one streaming service I won't disconnect. And I'm a TV lover. So there's your view on everything. Again, sign up for the newsletter. Sign up for Trendspider, limited time offer on that 40%. And the bundle offer with Seeking Alpha. And I just gave you 9 reasons to go and get that one. Now, at the very least, get Webull, get Robinhood, get a brokerage firm, have your trading portfolio. I have Webull, and I'll tell you, my Webull account that was $13,000 is now $9,919. I'll show it to you right there. Okay? It's because I hold Apple, I hold Google, I hold iBit, I hold NVIDIA, I hold Spotify, and I hold Tesla. And those are companies that I'm just fine holding, and the rest of it, I'll trade in and out of stuff. It hasn't worked out. Tesla's been bringing that one down a ton. Okay? iBit bringing down a ton. NVIDIA bringing it down a ton. I'm still holding. Long term. That's the core of my Webull account. Now, my Robinhood account, I'll show you. Robinhood account, I just put $500 in there so I could play the trivia game. I just bought $500 worth. Look at where it's at today. $478. That's all I own is VOO. I just put it all in VOO. Now I got to go take care of a crying dog. I will talk to you tomorrow. Remember, don't get caught off sides. If we start to see some cracking in the administration about actually negotiating on this stuff, don't get caught off sides. Make sure you're comfortable with your cash position. I don't want to hear from people, oh my God, I wish I would have bought this. I wish I would have bought that. It's your decision. Go and do it. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, see you, bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast. ears.